Okay, with Johnny Thames, Always and Forever is the short film, a Chicago filmmaker. Great name, Johnny Thames. It's a perfect director's name.
I know people have told me that it sounds like a very
Oh, I
Hollywood-esque
was trying to
name.
give it original take. I guess I didn't, but yeah, it's
No,
perfect.
you're completely fine.
So, okay, dark. It's a little bit comedic. It's definitely a horror. It's got thriller elements. You're kind of mixing genres there. You wrote the screenplay, correct? You co-wrote the screenplay?
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
No, you co-wrote the screenplay?
Yeah, it started off as Emmanuel and I were in playwriting class together, and we did a table read of the script, and after sorry, I get a little bit jumbled on my words.
Yeah.
After after we read through it, I loved it, and I asked if I could direct it. He said yes, and I took a crack at it.
And so what drew you to this script? What drew you to this idea?
Initially, just how darkly humorous it was. And then as I got to know the script a little bit more and the characters, I put a little bit as I got to know the characters more, I realized that certain things needed to be shown so we could have the empathy for certain characters and understand it. Because originally this script very funny, but it wasn't as introspective. And to ha- to sorry, and to tell a story like this,
Yeah.
you need sorry, let me start over. To tell a story like this, you need to look at these characters, wonder why they're like this, and get a full picture at them. Otherwise, we're only looking at half of the story. And if we're only looking at half of the story, we 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 essentially create opinions about these people without knowing everything and are quick to, well, get emotional, get irrational. I want people to empathize, but I also want them to be critical. It's
Okay, so then the story is about they're teenagers, right? She's a teenager,
yeah,
and then she kidnaps her boyfriend as a game, right?
yes. Something
And
that
the boy, let's just say, is through with the games.
yes.
So it's kind of a showcase of kind of weird love, I guess.
Honestly, codependency.
Codependency, yeah. That's a good line. So okay, so did you ever get kidnapped by a girlfriend in the past or
No, no.
so it's funny, right? Because it's like she's kind of crazy. And so she's in one world. The way I was watching the film is that she's kind of acting in one film and then he's acting in another film and then they kind of come together in a cohesive way. That makes sense.
Yeah, I fuck. Sorry, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. Because what I was thinking is that she's putting on this mask to kind of get through everything and push down any guilt or remorse she has, while he is trying in the nicest way possible to get her to stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like so she doesn't know she's not aware of his what he's feeling because she's kind of like some people in life and she's one of them, like they're just completely oblivious emotional
She's
intelligence.
oblivious and she's too wrapped up in herself,
Narcissism, right? Yeah.
in her guilt, in her need for
Yeah.
control, to look
Narcissism. Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
look outside herself.
yeah. The disease. It's really great. It's like so. Okay, so you decided to do this script. So you worked with the writer before you started filming, like kind of like finessing things, or
Weirdly enough, yes and no. I took some cracks at this in solitude, and then as we were starting to get into development, I called the manual back in and we did the final revisions together.
okay. And then so then you decide to shoot. You got the one key location.
Hmm.
Where was the shot? Where did you find the location?
I think it was somewhere in Humboldt Park. The owner of the place was very nice. He let us go in, confidentially. He let us go in free of charge. We just needed to sign some paperwork. And I, he was very nice. He reminded me a lot of David Lynch if he had gone through a life outside of filmmaking, actually.
Okay.
I Sorry if I'm not giving you enough.
So he who
I
just passed away recently, right?
uh David Lynch,
David
yes.
Lynch. Yeah.
About a year ago.
Okay. So you why did you start the film with like tell us how you started the film, who the character is
The
smoking
character, huh? What do you mean?
at the beginning of the
Oh,
film.
oh, I started with John Waters as sort of an homage to how his films how how his work essentially influenced the style and tone of the movie because there were three filmmakers that I really looked at. John Waters, David Lynch, Martin Scorsese, and a little bit of Hideaki Anno. A lot of the humor was heavily influenced by films like The King of Comedy and Female Trouble,
Yeah.
and I really wanted to pay homage to the influence that it had on there. And I'm also just a John Waters fan, so I wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, he's a like it's interesting
I
that yeah.
I know I'm not giving you enough. I'm so sorry.
No, no. Okay, so the actors are fantastic. They're
Hmm.
just fantastic, especially the female lead. Where did you find her?
Backstage, she was originally going to act in another project, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. I had sent her an early version of the script in the summer, and then about 6 months later, I think, yeah, 6 months later, she submitted to the backstage, and I was like, yes! And then we went through about like two or three rounds of chemistry reads with the actors we wanted to call back, and after looking at all of them, we chose to cast Tori.
She's great. Like so, like how did you know? Like how did you said like she was going to be something else, and then like you just kind of she just jumps out when you she did her audition.
Yeah. Weirdly and weirdly enough, I had interned with Tori before at a casting agency, and I kind of knew after seeing the tape that she did for the other film that I really wanted her for this.
How was that? How was doing that internship?
It was really good. I learned a lot about casting. I learned a lot about administrative work during the end of the COVID pandemic, and everyone was very nice.
They're doing a lot of
Com-
like video
commercials.
auditions now, right?
Yeah, weirdly enough, that's how we started, and then we would go to an in person round of auditions with everyone that was called back, and then everyone would make the final decision.
And then you
Go.
got okay, then you got like the really kind of really interesting cinematography in it, like lots of handheld camera, especially in the basement, kind
Yeah.
of like from his point of view. Tell us about like working with the cinematographer.
Graham Graham was awesome. We just kind Graham fuck, I need to. Do you mind giving me a minute to think about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
He's pretty great, and like I like production design too, like with the mine and like kind of the blood painting and kind of like it's all there's a lot that I love that there's always the angles from his point of view, kind of looking at her, kind of like shaky
Um
camera, of course.
so what we did a lot hang on. One, two, three. A lot of the cinematography was planned out, with the exception of like maybe one or two planned out in the moment, with the exception of maybe one or two shots that I really wanted. It was a oh my god, I it was very great working with Graham. He was
Yeah.
awesome. He was incredibly attentive.
Did you guys like shot list everything, storyboard things,
Oh,
or
we didn't do storyboards. We just did an entire shot list, and we kind of figured things out on the day.
yeah?
Like,
And then like so then what about the lighting? Like there's some really interesting lighting with the faces and everything.
yeah, that was all Graham. I originally
Yeah.
wanted like a bit of a flat lighting, but after kind of looking at it on camera, it was perfect. I can't.
So it's the film starts kind of innocently, right? Like kind of
Hmm.
funny, right? And then like 15 minutes into the film, she kind of opens the closet and then there's another girl in there who's been kidnapped. And then you realize that she's just fucking nuts, right?
Hmm.
And she's scary. Like before, she was kind of like an innocent, kind of sweet girl who was like kind of oblivious to her intentions
Weirdly
and was trying to
enough,
have fun. Then you realize she's fucking nuts.
weirdly enough, we kind of get hints at that threats before the closet is even open. Like when she says, that's not what I heard.
So you tip your
That was
hand a little bit,
Val."
of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Sarah is trying to do there is essentially trying to keep herself in control by, I hate saying this, but essentially hurting other people. Like we really, I, how am I doing?
But I think that what happens is that in that scene is that like it's the way I like how it was edited because like she's sitting there and then she's just talking to him and you're realizing she's crazy, right? And then
Hmm.
she's opening the closet and then we as the audience are reacting to it just like he is. So you don't even need a
And
close up of him. You're just like we're reacting like he is like holy fuck I'm gonna fucking die. She's gonna kill me.
yeah, we're supposed to be mortified by that.
Yeah.
So there's
So you don't even need his close up reaction, and you don't even need to see him react because
we just
we're already reacting just like he is, I guess, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I
it's really great. Like it's there's some really great direction there. Uh, you guys it seems like you had a pretty good team. Like, did you guys have someone like an art director as well, like production designer?
no, we're it was just my production designer Julia Ravello. That she can do essentially anything. She is a one-woman army of a PD, and I feel like I'm having something, but I'm losing my train of thought at the same time.
No problem. No, she's just like she's awesome. Like it's like a really nice, like nice lighting, nice like it seems like a nice cohesive team that you guys have. Did you guys
Yes.
go meet each other at school or?
No. Some of these were connections through a friend of mine. Some of them were people I knew through school. Some of them were people I met on backstage, and some of them were just people brought in by Graham.
And you guys got a nice website too, kind of promoting the film.
Yeah. That's actually I actually have to I have to give a lot of kudos to the BTS photographer and marketer Bill Oakes for setting that up. I really appreciate that.
So you guys got a like it seems like a pretty cool film. Are you working on something right now or?
Yeah, I'm casting a couple of films for my producer. I'm in development on a feature, and I'm hoping to get started on writing another film that I really want to do. And then I'm starting up a film studio with a couple of friends.
So directing is where you want to go, I guess, right?
Yes.
And
Direct.
How's the Chicago film scene?
Eh, it's good and it's bad. It really depends on the people that you have on set. You can have someone who is great and will really lift each other up. And then there are people who will just be kind of out for themselves, kind of self-interested, stuck within themselves, or just completely out of it. But otherwise, it's pretty lovely.
And so then yeah, because this team is great. So tell me about the music too. Like it was original music.
Yes, everything was done by the co-editor and co-composer Will Feeney. It I'm such in love with that soundtrack because originally when I did the assembly cut, I was using unused tracks from Neon Genesis Evangelion and then two songs by the Carpenters. And I think and one, two, three. I think what Will was really looking for was towards like old like John Carpenter movies.
Yeah.
So he used kind of like that unsettling and atmospheric tone while mixing that with 70s composition to create something unnerving, really uncomfortable, and what's the word? What's the word? I don't
So
want to
at
use
the
the
end
word
of the
shocking,
film,
but
like
like
we kind of want, I don't want to give everything away, but basically we want him to kind of get out of the situation, right? We're rooting for him
yes.
to win, I guess, right?
We're rooting for him to win. We're hoping Sarah will finally take accountability for everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I?
And so basically, so like, but at the same time, we kind of feel for her kind of ignorance and kind of like psychopathic behavior, I guess.
Yeah, you have empathy for her because of what she went through, but you're not going to let her off the hook. When you look at other types of media like this, you'll see a character who is either completely monstrous or completely infantilized. But
Yeah.
it's not just one or the other. It's usually somewhere in the middle. You can have empathy for these types of people, but still want them to get what's coming to them. In fact, if you're thinking, "Oh, this person should get off completely scot-free," I'd argue something is wrong with you.
Well, yeah, of course. She's good. She has to take accountability and like, and then it
She
sort of
has to
reminds
take.
me of these kind of like 80s kind of I don't know if you watch all these movies like Heathers or
I
Better
love
Off
Heathers.
Dead. Yeah. You ever see Better Off Dead? John
No.
Cusack? Chicago film. Yeah.
Um, I understand the 80s. I understand the 80s aesthetic because there were two films. I know I'm going back to this, but tonally, the biggest movie I thought of when I first read this script was the King of Comedy. I thought of the scene where, sorry if this feels like very weird or something.
What
I
movie?
I thought of the King of Comedy. It reminded me a lot
Oh,
of.
the De Niro film. Yeah, yeah. There's
I
a lot of
thought of a lot
similarity
of the
there. Yeah.
scenes where between Marcia and Jerry Langford, and I thought,
That's one of those movies. King Comedy is one of those movies that was a big bomb back in the day, and people really didn't understand it. And it's got the even Scorsese doesn't like the film, right? And
what?
now it's got this kind of cult following where like De Niro is like so brilliant, kind of playing this kind of like this character, right? Like this psychopath, kind
King of
of looking
Comedy
for
is some of
needing
the
attention, needing it's
best
like ahead of its time
commentary.
in terms of
Yes,
social
yes,
media.
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, yeah, it's about like it's kind of the film that should have been made in 2013,
King of
right?
Comedy has some of the best commentary on obsession, on celebrity culture, on deification.
Yeah.
I,
I had a friend because I was born in that time. I had a friend back in the day where I came from, and like we used to watch King of Comedy all the time. It was like we loved the movie, and because he just like his like yeah, it's just like De Niro is so great in the film. Like
I
him
know.
like mock like talking to in the basement, and he's like his mom's always bothering him. It's like so funny to us, but yeah,
It's so weird,
yeah.
yet
But it's not supposed to be that funny, but it was funny to us
it's
back in our teen years. Yeah.
uncomfortable, kind of funny. Like,
Yeah. Mom.
he's
Yeah,
in the
it's
middle of
great.
something or he's trying to record, he's essentially convincing himself to record that tape.
Yeah. But he wins in the end. People watch King of Comedy if you haven't seen it. Great movie. Because he
But
wins in the end, right?
he wins, but
Rupert
he's
Pumpkin,
unhappy.
great name.
He's unhappy.
I don't know about that. I think he's oblivious. I think he's oblivious of what that emotion is. Just like I
Hmm.
think your character in the film is. I think they're
Yeah.
happy sadness is not like a factor for them. That's my take.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
just
man. Keep making movies. You're on your way. This
they
is a really nicely directed film. Lots of really nice elements. It's really set in one location. I know you got kind of like the other scene, but it's 20 minutes and you really kind of gauge our attention
weirdly
with
enough,
the
both of those locations were owned by the same person. They were
yeah.
very gracious to let us shoot in their garden apartment.
But you nailed it with the production design. So like you got it all going on.
Kudos to Julia for that one.
Kudos to you for bringing a great team together.
Thank you.
All right, man.
And
Let's talk
thank
again when you make your next film. I think it's fantastic.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for putting up with me.
No, you're awesome. All right. Have a good one.